If you usually hit up delivery for pizza night, today we're going to change that. We're making crispy pesto sourdough pizzas, no dough tossing, no crazy equipment, just simple ingredients and a baking sheet. And even if you've never really cooked before, I promise this is easier than waiting for delivery. And today's episode is brought to you in partnership with Giggles LA because we believe in celebrating the community together. Giggles LA is all about lifting up real parents, especially boy moms and dads, and honoring their journey. Because parenting is real, it's messy, and deserves recognition. Their brand was created in memory of a baby boy, and everything they do supports families and helps build confidence in kids starting from day one. Poor Choices shares that same mission to make parents feel seen, appreciated, and even have a little fun along the way. Because we all know parents can use a drink sometimes, and a high five for getting dinner on the table. And stick around to the end of the episode because after you've fed the kids, we've got something to feed your spirit. Poor Choices, y'all. Starting out, we need some sourdough bread, and the thicker the slice, the better. And the reason why we're going with sourdough is because it is much sturdier than regular sandwich bread, so it's going to stay crispy and hold the toppings without getting soggy. For the sauce, we are using store-bought pesto because we want to save some time and headaches. After all, you've got kids to look after. And if you are new to pesto, it is a mix of basil, olive oil, parmesan, garlic, and usually pine nuts. But if you've got kids with nut allergies, a lot of pestos are just not safe. So for a nut-free version of pesto, just blend some fresh basil leaves with olive oil, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, some garlic, and a splash of lemon juice all in a blender or food processor. No nuts, no problem, and I will leave a simple recipe for that down in the description. You also could just use a regular marinara sauce, but something about the pesto and all of this coming together is just really, really amazing. Just more elevated than your typical pizza slice. Speaking of, it's time to build the pizzas. Look how fast we're moving through this thing. So we're gonna spread about 2 to 3 tablespoons of pesto onto each sourdough slice, and honestly, you don't have to measure this. You might like your pizza super saucy or not. Just put enough down for a nice even layer. And a little trick here, if you've got picky eaters, put the veggies under the cheese instead of on top. Out of sight, out of mind, right? All they see is melty, stretchy goodness. I'm using thin slices of bell peppers today, red, yellow, orange, whatever color you want, which by the way, red bell peppers are actually just green peppers that stayed on the vine longer. The longer they ripen, the sweeter they get, and that's why red, yellow, and orange peppers are a lot milder and sweeter than green. Way better for kids who think green stuff is suspicious. Now, for the bell peppers, here's a method that's clean, it's fast, and honestly looks kind of cool if your kids are watching and thinks you're just out here doing knife magic. So start by slicing off the top and the bottom so the pepper can just sit flat. Then we're gonna make one cut down the side and gently unroll it while trimming out the ribs. You'll end up with this flat sheet of pepper with no seeds hopefully flying around and no mess. Now, when you go to slice these into strips, here's a small but important tip. Lay the pepper flesh side up, the inside part, when you cut. That outer skin can be slippery and waxy, and if you cut it with the skin side facing up, your knife can slip, especially if it's a dull knife. And we don't need any knife accidents in the kitchen because your kids will remember that. And this method gives you smooth, clean cuts, and the mid-sized strips are great, big enough to see but small enough not to overwhelm a bite. And hey, if you want to dice them up even smaller or just cut them your own way, it's totally fine. This is just one method that makes you look like you got it all together. Whether or not that's true is between you and your coffee. I'm also adding some sliced pepperoni for that classic pizza topping vibe, but if you want to cut out some fat, turkey pepperoni rocks too. It's lower in fat than regular pepperoni, but still gives you that pizza feel. Once your veggies and pepperoni are down, just cover everything with a good layer of shredded mozzarella and be generous. The cheese hides the veggies and locks everything in together. And now the magic part, baking it. We're gonna bake this at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 8 to 10 minutes, just until the cheese is fully melted and starts to bubble. If your oven happens to run cool, which is actually kind of totally normal in older ovens, you might just need a couple of extra minutes, but what you're really just looking for are just golden edges and melted cheese and no pale bread. Remember, everything on this is already edible and good to go. We just want to heat it up. And while those are baking, let's talk a few parent upgrades, okay? We want to turn your mini pizza into something that you actually want to eat. So after baking, you can throw in some fresh arugula for like a peppery crunch. You can drizzle it with hot honey for a sweet and spicy finish. You can add some prosciutto or sun-dried tomatoes, or just hit it with a quick dash of chili flakes or balsamic glaze. This way, it's one meal, but it feels like you ordered from the grown-up menu too. And then once they're ready to come out the oven, just give them a minute to cool. The cheese will set up a little and it makes slicing way easier. And then we're just gonna use a big knife and cut them into halves or quarters or triangles or whatever shape you want. And that's it, crispy, cheesy, veggie pack, and ready in the time it would take you to just argue about pizza toppings. It's fast enough for a busy weeknight, and if you're a first timer in the kitchen, you just made homemade pizza. High five. All right, now the kids are fed, pizzas are done, everybody's happy, but now it's time to treat yourself. Let's head over to the adult table because we've got a cocktail for whatever you've got in the cabinet, and I'll tell you exactly why each one pairs up with that crispy, cheesy pesto pizza that you just made. So we're gonna start with a whiskey sour. 2 ounces of whiskey, 3/4 an ounce of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice if you can, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and if you want to, you can add an optional egg white for a silky foam. And we're just gonna throw it in a shaker with some ice and then strain it over some fresh ice. And whiskey sour, it's tart, it's refreshing, it's bright, it cuts through the rich pesto and melted cheese, and it's like a reset button for your taste buds between every cheesy bite. Whiskey not your jam? What about tequila, specifically ranch water? 2 ounces of a silver tequila, half an ounce of lime juice, top with a Topo Chico or sparkling water, and serve over ice with a lime wedge. And ranch water is light and bubbly, which is perfect because sourdough and pesto are both rich and dense. It's like adding a little sparkle to your pizza party. It keeps everything crisp and fresh without weighing you down. What about vodka? How about a cucumber lemonade fizz? That's 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of lemon juice, half an ounce of simple syrup, and if you want, you can muddle in a few cucumber slices before shaking. And we're just gonna top this with some club soda, and this is a good pairing because vodka is neutral, and with the cucumber and lemon, this drink is super refreshing. It cools off the pesto's garlicky vibe and cleanses your palate, so you're ready for another slice without feeling heavy. Up next, gin. Gin will make you sin. We're going with a basil gimlet. That's 2 ounces of gin, 3/4 an ounce of lime juice, fresh if you can, half an ounce of simple syrup, 2 to 3 fresh basil leaves, lightly muddled. And you're just gonna shake those and strain into a glass. Gin and basil are a natural match for pesto. It's herb on herb action. The lime and the gimlet brightens the drink so it balances out the richness of the cheese and the toastiness of the sourdough. What about brandy or cognac? Hey, I got a sidecar for you. That's 2 ounces of cognac or brandy, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, fresh if you can, 3/4 an ounce of triple sec, and you're just gonna shake that with some ice and strain it into a sugar rimmed glass if you have it. And the sidecar is citrusy but deeper and richer than other drinks. It brings out the roasted flavors in the sourdough and gives the whole meal a more sophisticated dinner party feel. Think pizza night but grown up and bougie. And lastly, the classic daiquiri featuring rum. That's 2 ounces of light rum, 1 ounce of lime juice, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, and you just want to shake that nice and hard and pour it into a glass. And the classic daiquiri, it's limey, it's sharp, it cuts right through the pesto's oiliness, if that's the word that I want to use, and brings a hit of tropical brightness. It's light, it's crisp, and it won't compete with the flavors you've already built on your pizza. So whether you're a whiskey, tequila, vodka, gin, brandy, or rum person, there's a drink to level up your pizza night. And shout out again to Giggles LA. This is the first video of a 3-part series of recipes tailored towards all you hardworking parents out there. And again, make sure you head over to giggles.com and grab some new fits. You fed the kids, now go and feed your spirit.